Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmat, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Storm of Swords, chapters 53 and 54, Tyrion and Davos. In these chapters, we have people celebrating the Red Wedding, and we learn some more gross details that nobody needed to know, and yeah. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Harmat.
Hi.
Who died in these chapters? It seems so like mean. Like I don't want to say that after last episode.
Can we veto that segment?
No. No.
Why?
No.
The most important deaths are done.
Trust me, there will be other deaths that I would want you to talk about.
That's not comforting.
No.
That's alarming.
Yes. So, okay, but at least this time you can say nobody and then just move on.
My soul died. My heart died.
That happened last time.
Shh! You do not get to rush the healing process, okay? I am going to be it will be like book 5 billion, and I'll be like, that wouldn't have happened if Arya hadn't died. So, like, I don't care. Like, you know how I was, like, right after Ned died?
What if one of them turns into, like, a white, and then we get them back somehow?
I don't want that.
Yeah, but we get to see him still.
That's not a cameo I need.
Okay, fine.
So, yeah, like, I was insufferable after Ned died, and then eventually I was like, okay, this is probably a little annoying. Let's keep some of it in our head.
I don't think you were that unsufferable after Ned, honestly.
In my head, I was.
Okay.
Because anytime I brought it up, I'd be like, I don't know, I was just like, people don't care. But anyway, yeah, no. So, yeah, the Stark deaths are gonna be coming up constantly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm constantly gonna be like, wow. You know
Say
what?
Yeah,
you know
one
what
more time.
Been? Sorry?
Say yeah one more time.
Yeah?
I feel like we hit a record for how many times we've said yeah in an episode.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah.
Get it again?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm bothering you.
Yes, my dear beloved. I don't know why you're beloved now, but I don't know, I couldn't think of, like, a title, and then I just said dear beloved. So here we are.
Alright, dear, let's, okay, you're still mad, obviously, you get to be, and, nobody died in these chapters, which, cool.
Yay. Okay, I guess.
What did you think of these chapters?
Definitely a lot less, like, exciting content-wise than what we just kind of read. Like,
but isn't that just kind of what we need, though?
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. Tyrion's chapter, I don't know, it kind of felt like, I don't know, I liked Tyrion's chapter even though nothing really happened. It was just, I think I really enjoyed the way that he felt about the whole affair, and the way that he thought about it in his head was very much appreciated. Like, I needed that. So I think that's why I liked Tyrion's chapter. And then Davos's, Davos was also pretty respectful about it, like the way that he kind of thought about it and, like, processed what was happening, but I don't know,
yeah, but everybody around them is, like, jumping around, dancing.
Yeah, that was all terrible, but, I think it was nice to have,
two sensible people kind of after.
Kind of reacting.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Okay, so do you want to do a quick summary for us?
I can try.
Yeah, it's mostly conversations, so that's hard to do. But in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Tyrion and Sansa are having dinner. Awkward vibes, not working out. Moving on, Tyrion gets called by Tywin, Cersei, Joffrey. Happy, happy, happy. Robb dead, dead, dead. Frey plan talking about it. Catelyn wasn't supposed to be dead, but is dead. There's a plan with Arya and Bolton and all of this, and then he's like, you gotta have a son, and then he's angry because Joffrey's like, haha, you coward, wasn't like my dad, and then he's like, I'll teach him a lesson, and then he outlines a bunch of his plans and shit.
Davos.
What's his face? Davos, yes, thank you. Davos, okay, how did this chapter start? I've literally forgotten. Oh my god.
I think they're just talking about, like, oh, another king died.
Oh, yeah, he's with, like, Mel and all of them. And
Mel.
Yeah, Mel. He's with Mel, Stan, them, Salador, and they're kind of talking, and he's like, yeah, another king dropped. Clearly this is R'hllor, and he's like, or maybe it just is the Frey. And then he's like, oh, gross, whatever. And then he's like, hey, she's like, hey, Stone Dragon,
okay,
awaken the Stone Dragon.
Minute. I love how you fine. Like shortened Melisandre and Stannis, but you kept Salador. Even though I think Davos like refers to him as like Sal or something. Yeah. Like he definitely uses a shortened version.
It's fine, okay.
All right. So let's just get right into it. Not waste any time. Because that's our trademark. We do not waste time on this podcast.
Okay, so Tyrion. So Tyrion, this chapter starts off, and Tyrion and Sansa are having dinner, and it seems like Pod's there to, like, help clean up, do his thing. Like, he's just kind of there. However, my question is, in my head, they all kind of had, but I guess, okay, I think the only dinners we've really seen are when it's a feast. So in my mind, all dinners happen family gathering.
Yeah, it's actually rare that would happen.
So I guess just because the only reason they come up when we're reading them is when important things are happening, so feasts.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but this just kind of jarred me. I was like, what are they doing? Like, why are they just eating together? And then I was like, I guess it makes sense.
Well, the first line is they supped alone, as they did so often. So
yeah. So do we know where they eat? Like, which hall is this? Or is it just
I don't think it's a hall. I think it's like in their quarters. Like they have like a place in the palace which has like their room, and then like would have like
table.
No, not even a table, like an outer room. Like it's like a suite, like there's the living area that they share, and then there's the bedroom that they also share because they're married, but like
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So they're eating, and they're kind of making small talk about the food, and like there's this entire interaction, and what it feels like most of their interactions are like is just like neither of them are happy, but they're trying to make small talk, and then Sansa's like being really polite, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry you don't like the food, and he's like, you didn't make the food, where it's like this weird vibe all the time, and I just want them to like get over the vibe, and I don't like it. So there's this whole thing, and then like even later he's like, I shouldn't bring up that I don't like this, because then she's just gonna apologize all over again. And I just feel bad. Like, I just want them to be friends.
I know, but
because it's like the only Stark Lannister friendship that really can be.
Not after the news Tyrion has to give to her.
But it kind of has to be, because she doesn't have a support system. So if she's gonna survive, like, they have to, like, do you know what I mean? Like, obviously.
Well, she's still planning on escaping, so.
Yes. However, we all know how that's gonna turn out.
Do we?
Like, yes, we do. I have no hope in this fucking series anymore. She's not gonna fucking escape. Like, no, she's not. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, anyway. I just, like, need them to get along, because it's kind of her only hope to have having any emotional stability at all in this world.
Yeah. So Tyrion's, like, real stressed, because he's got so much to worry about, and the Dornish people are here now, and they're causing all sorts of trouble, because the Tyrells and them don't get along, and every time Tyrion sees Oberyn, he asks when the justice will be served.
Oh my god.
Just, like, things are, he's got lots to worry about. Yeah. And they
Sansa's
finish dinner,
like,
but Sansa's like,
"Bye-bye."
okay, I'm gonna go pray now. And Tyrion's like,
Wow.
this is really excessive piety, if I'm being honest.
Please.
But he kind of gets it. He's like, what else is she gonna do? But we know that
Yeah.
that's where she goes to meet Dantos, her potential escape plan. So he's like, oh, maybe I'll join you one day. And she's like, no, you won't like it there. And he's like, oh, you know what? I won't like it. And she knows me better than I thought. How thoughtful.
I can't. This is so funny because Tyrion's so smart. And this is, it's just funny.
Yeah, I think he wants to make the best out of the situation. So he's just like, anyway.
He's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and so she leaves.
Like, yeah.
And he gets to work as Master of Coin, trying to untangle, like, the labyrinth of Littlefinger's ledgers.
That was a nice line.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my mind, Littlefinger, yes, was, like, very sneaky and, like, not very trustworthy and kind of, there's a word I'm looking for, but it's gone. Just, like, sneaky and stealthy and, like, we don't like
conniving.
Him. Yes, and like he's kind of like a rat. I think that's the best way to put what I'm trying to say. He's a rat,
like a rat.
We know that he's a rat, right? However, in my mind, he was still like good at his job. I didn't realize he was just really good at like
appearing to be good at his job.
Yeah, like I thought maybe he was like genuinely good at his job.
I
think
think
I just
he
gave him
is
too much
good
credit.
at it, but he is when Robert the king tells you, "Get me money." And
he does get him money.
Yeah. He
He's
just doesn't really care about the consequences.
Yeah.
Because he's like, somebody else will worry about that.
Yeah. Like, it's interesting, because in my mind it was like, okay, Master of Coin, Treasurer. Nah, Master of Coin. there's no transferable there, because he'd be failing if he was a treasurer,
Yeah, but that is what he is, though. It's just...
No, but in my head he was a treasurer.
He is a treasurer. This is just the word, like, term they use.
I know that. I know that. But treasurer to me is like, okay, we plan for long-term financial stability.
Right.
And the fact that he's not doing that is like, he ain't that.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of this he was doing on purpose to kind of fuck everybody over,
Like, yeah, you need me.
Like, maybe he needed to, like, do some shady shit to get some money, but maybe he did it to an extent that wasn't necessary. Anyway, definitely. The point is, the money's really hard to track, and he, like, made sure that the money was, like, constantly being, like, moved and invested and stuff, but...
Yeah. There's no money, like, present. Like, we can't be like, let's go to the bank, or let's go down to the dungeons where we have our 5 billion golden dragons. I don't really have a concept of money in this world. You know what I mean? Like, there's no money really anywhere.
It's all their assets. There's no liquid assets. Like, it's all stuff that's hard to liquidate. And besides, he ended up my accounting degree, which I have yet to earn, is paying off. Just kidding. But he learns that some of the people that owed him money were the ones he killed, the Antler Men. And so now they're, those debts are just unpaid, and that's money that the crown has lost just because Joffrey wanted to kill some people. Yeah. And so finally he's like, okay, he gets summoned by Tywin, and he's like, I'm so glad I can be rid of these books because they are not it. And he's going out, and it's like a chilly day, and he's thinking about Sansa, and he's like, maybe I'll go grab her before it starts raining or something. And I'm like, ooh, what if you do?
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't.
So he goes into the council room, or like Tywin's room, wherever they're gathered. And Tywin's there, Kevin Lannister's there, Pycelle, Cersei, and Joffrey are all there. And everybody is like smiling, ear to ear, except Tywin. And Tyrion's like, I wonder if he could ever smile, even if he wanted to.
Please.
And he's like, what's going on? And Tywin just hands him this letter. And it says, Rosalind caught a fine fat trout. Her brothers gave her a pair of wolf pelts for her wedding. Which this is like, I guess this is like a coded message, but it's not very well coded. Like, it's so obvious.
Yeah. Ugh, man.
But yeah, so he's like putting it together, and before he can like be like, okay, so Edmure and and Joffrey's like, he's dead. Robb Stark's dead. He is dead. He's just like jumping around doing a song, song and dance.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And and Tyrion's like, oh, looks like all our enemies are just dying and the war's winning itself. And Cersei's like, wars do not win themselves. Our Lord Father won this war.
But this was really sad when Tyrion was just like thinking about this. I was like, oh my God. Like, it was just like so validating to see a Lannister think this way. Like, I needed this. I was like, thank you, Tyrion. And he's like, oh my God, like, Sansa is praying right now, and this is what I'm hearing. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
It was really sad. And I was like, fuck you, Joffrey!
Yeah. But they're really happy because that war is basically over, because the River Lords aren't gonna, like, fight on their own without the Northmen. And,
it's Edmure.
Yes. Yeah. And Tywin's talking about how, they'll win over the River Lords. They're gonna offer generous terms to whoever bends the knee. And to any castle that yields to us, save one. And Tyrion's like, I bet that's Harrenhal. Because Tywin has had enough of the brave companions, and he has commanded Sir Gregor to take care of that. And we kind of like heard about that because I think the ghost of Highheart was like the Great Hound descends upon the goat or something, and then we heard about Bolton's force being attacked by Gregor's force, even though that was clearly engineered to be that way. But they were in the Harrenhal area. So that's happening. At least that's good, because we don't really like Vargohote. The mighty goat. The not-so-mighty goat.
It's funny to me, because he's like, I'm gonna do this. And this is before he even knows about the Jaime stuff.
Oh, yeah. Wait, who does?
Tywin.
Maybe he does know about the Jaime stuff, though. Because Bolton...
But, like... Because here's the thing. I know Tywin is, like, a rock. Like,
Of Castle Rock.
Yeah. But I just feel like that is... Because even later in this chapter, he's like, oh, like, my father's worst fear was Jaime being dead. Or whatever it was. And I feel like... I just feel like with the way Tywin values Jaime and like his ability to fight and like be his heir and like all that shit, like I just feel like we would not be seeing this Tywin if he knew. Like I don't believe that he knows.
Really? But he was like getting those swords ready and seemed pretty confident that Jaime would return to him.
Yeah, but...
Or are you... Wait, okay.
I'm talking about the hand. I'm talking about Jaime's hand. I'm not talking about Jaime coming back. I think he does know that Jaime's coming back.
Okay, I think we were talking about totally different things. Okay, yeah, he may not know about the hand, because that's a specific detail.
There's no way he knows about the hand, because this would not be the Tywin. Okay,
that's fair, because that is what the brave... okay, you know what? I got confused. Yes, that is what how the brave companions did Jaime wrong, is by taking his hand. That's right. I got all confused because Tywin hates the brave companions anyway for betraying him and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. Is like, oh, they're already sentenced to death before even that. So I guess it can't get worse if you're already dead.
Yeah. So anyway, he's like, oh, now Littlefinger will have his castle all ready for him when he's there. And then he's like, I wonder if he's reached the Vale yet, which made me wonder if he's reached the Vale yet. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And what's going on over there? Because he was supposed to like woo Liza and like marry her and all that shit.
I feel like that's happening. Maybe he's like getting married as we speak.
Okay, so another wedding is taking place.
Maybe.
Maybe it'll be as bloody as...
Funny.
And you're like,
Funny.
That would never happen.
Yeah. It's only the Starks that are cursed.
So he is
Nobody
succeeding
else.
in his mission. And he's like going to be married soon and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Liza is going to be on the Lannister side too, because that was the whole point.
Yes.
Lovely. So Joffrey.
It's not like she has a sister left to be loyal to.
I mean,
or a dad. Barely a brother. An uncle.
Yes. But she wasn't doing any of those things before either. But now, but before she wasn't on the Lannister side either. So now it's Anyway. So Joffrey, in rare form, in this chapter, is like, they should all be put to the sword. I don't want them pardoned, and I want Robb Stark's head so I can make Sansa kiss it when I serve it to her at my wedding feast. And Kevin's like, dude, calm the fuck down. And Cersei's like, he's just joking. He didn't mean it. And Joffrey's like, yeah, I did. I want his stupid head.
Oh my
just
god.
Like, he is really giving himself away today.
Yeah, and him and Tyrion get into this little...
You're the monster.
Spar.
No, you're the monster. And this Tyrion's like, well, if I am a monster, you should speak more softly to me. Monsters are dangerous beasts. And just now, kings seem to be dying like flies, which is like a straight up threat. And just
Cersei's like,
how could you?
Yeah, and Tywin just is straight to Joffrey. He's like, you trying to be heiress? Like, come on.
And any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king at all.
Think about how many times have I said this on this literally in life and on this podcast. I preach this till I'm dead. Like Sansa. Or, no, not like Sansa. Why did I just manifest that? Oh my god, shut up, Harmat. Like Arya, Catelyn, and Robb, and Ned. Anyway, yeah, how many times do I preach this? Like, if you have to say it, you are not. Literally, low-key, I hate Tywin. Fucking hate Tywin.
Mm-hmm.
Hate this man's guts and all of that.
Yeah.
Low-key, I liked him in this chapter, and I hate that because this is right after Red Wedding. Like,
right. It's because him against Joffrey is really satisfying because you know just how to take him down, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, I hate him because he's the reason
he's
for
the smart
death.
evil, and it's horrible.
I know, it's like if he
you can't help but admire him a little.
Yeah, exactly. I hate him.
You're like, I hope you die,
him.
but also, you're a real smart dude.
Yeah, maybe write down all of your strategies in a book and give them to the good people before you die, you know? Like, do something good for once before you die. He's a character that maybe he'll have a redemption arc.
I can't believe you just said that. What is with you wanting everybody to have a redemption arc? Even the evilest of evils. Next you're gonna be like, oh, Joffrey's just a kid. He can turn it around.
You're gonna hate me.
But he is a kid and he can turn it around.
Yeah, yes, he fucking sucks, but like, okay, let me explain. Okay, Tywin is actually responsible for however many murders and however many deaths, right?
Yeah.
So if I can think that he has redeeming qualities, just because Joffrey is more outwardly vile, and that's how his terribleness presents, whereas Tywin's is like this intelligence, doesn't make him worse than Tywin. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, he's still just a kid, and he is 13, and he could.
So if you want, so if you want Tywin to be redeemed, you also want Joffrey to be redeemed.
I do. I'd like to think Joffrey could be redeemed, but I think I've lost all hope that he can be redeemed.
You are something else.
I am an optimist, I think. Sometimes I say really pessimistic things, but I think at the end of the day, I want to be an optimist, which makes me an optimist, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So, I don't think Joffrey will have his redemption arc, but I would like him to. I think he was the one who I initially was like, he should have a redemption arc.
I know you were like,
before
Theon is gonna have a redemption
and then
arc.
he died. Yeah. Yeah. And then he died. Yeah, because initially, I think I said all that while the Trident stuff was happening, so that was before he fucking offed Ned, so...
Yeah. Okay, so back to this chapter.
Yeah, Tywin's being a girl boss.
Mm-hmm. And, so Joffrey has the guts to be like, you're talking about Aerys, but you were scared of him. It was my dad who fought all the battles while you hid under Casterly Rock. A strong king acts boldly. He doesn't just talk.
Oh my
To Tywin fucking Lannister's face, he says this.
I can't. He wants death. Like, he is asking to die. Like, what spirit has possessed him? Like, is this a Melisandre ghost baby thing going on? A shadow baby thing going on?
I think he's just an arrogant little bitch.
No, I think he is. Like, I'm joking. Yes, I'm joking. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, where does he get this? Yeah. Like, how is he this out of touch with reality? Because when he's like, take off Ned's head. Oh, that rhymes. I hate that. Or when he's like, do this to Sansa. It's like,
take off Ned's head and make him dead.
Please. Like, it's like, he can do it. And he has the authority. And he can get away with it. But with this shit, it's just like, he just, like, not very intelligent. Like, what is happening? He really thinks he's gonna get away with this? Like...
Well, I love Tywin's response, and I'm going to read this whole last paragraph because it is so good. Thank you for that wisdom, your grace, Lord Tywin said, with a courtesy so cold it was like to freeze their ears off. Sir Kevin, I can see the king is tired. Please see him safely back to his bedchamber. Pycelle, perhaps some gentle potion to help his grace sleep restfully? Just like, time for bed for you. Get the fuck out of my face.
Get the fuck out and shut the fuck up.
Just like, oh, it's so satisfying to see him be like, okay, time for bed. No dinner for you tonight.
Oh my god.
Although, don't starve your children, even if you're trying to punish them. Okay, sorry. Like, the whole, like, no dinner, straight to bed with you is such a weird punishment. It's like, you're my child, but I'm gonna starve you. Sorry. That was a side note.
Lord Tywin would have paid more heed to a mouse squeaking in the corner.
Yeah. Because, like, Joffrey's like, I don't want any dream wine.
Pretty beautiful.
So Kevin escorts him out and marches him out the door by the arm, and Pycelle follows. And, so she's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's always been willful. And Tywin's like, I don't know if that's willful. That's straight up stupid. And she's like, oh, it's just, Robert. He used to be like that.
Please.
Besides, like, when he wasn't ignoring him, and he didn't really like Joffrey, and then we get like this, he would have beat him if I'd allowed it, and then that one time he hit the boy so hard he knocked out 2 of his baby teeth all over some mischief with a cat. Which,
what the fuck?
I can't remember if we got the details of this, like, during a conversation when Robert and Ned were talking or not, but, like, I don't really want to know more about it.
This, like, I don't know, this really made me think, like, obviously, hate Joffrey, terrible, arrogant, firstborn, raised to be king. I've told my opinion on people who I'm... like, he was, told he was
entitled
king
little shits, yeah.
Right, all of that, right? However, Robert was terrible. And he must have seen Robert being terrible to Cersei all the time. Like imagine growing up in that and seeing your father treat your mother that, like, that's gotta fuck you up in some ways. And it's like, 100%. I'd never really thought about that, because usually when we think about Joffrey, like, I don't think about him interacting with other people. I just think about him being a terrible person. So it's like, I almost felt bad for him. And I kind of was like, man, like, that's not an environment to raise a child. And then you're like, now you're gonna have all the power in the world. So Yeah, kind of
Yeah,
like
it was, I don't know. I don't want to get into a whole nature versus nurture thing, but like, that cannot have helped.
yeah, exactly. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I almost felt bad for him.
Yeah, he
That's
had
all I
no
had to
good
say.
role models. He was doomed
Yeah.
from the beginning. So really, this is a tragedy about Joffrey and not the Starks.
No, it's not. Like, not an excuse to be a little fucking shit. However, also sucks that he didn't have anyone to tell him right from wrong when he was fucking up too, you know? Because all he had was just enablers. So, kind of sucks.
Anyway, so they leave. And also Tywin at this point does Mrs. Cersei, just like, get the fuck out of my face also.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's like, okay, I don't see him as Robert II. I think he's Aerys III.
Oh.
And Tywin is like, well, he's 13. There's time yet. But he's pacing the window, pacing like to and forth the window. And Tyrion thinks how unlike that is of Tywin. And he's clearly more upset than he wishes to show.
Oh my god. This
Which
was
is
interesting.
Like, it takes a lot to rattle Tywin, but
exactly. Like, this was so out of pocket and so unexpected. Like, nobody with a brain does this.
Yeah, like, well, that's what he said. Like, I didn't expect him to be stupid. Like,
yeah. Like, the fuck?
Yeah. Anyway, so what are they talking about? Oh yeah. So Tyrion's like, how long have you been plotting this? And Tywin's like, I don't want to talk about it like that. And Tyrion's like, well, I don't like not being told. Was Cersei told? And Tywin's like, only people who needed to know knew, and only what they needed to know. It was a need to know basis kind of thing. And you did not need to know. I was trying to
There was a confidentiality clause.
Yeah, my object was to rid us of a dangerous enemy as cheaply as I could, not to indulge your curiosity or make your sister feel important. So, yeah.
Which, valid. Okay.
Yeah, and then he says, you have a certain cunning, but you talk too much, which...
I was like, I think this was the first time where I was like, I don't know if I agree with you, Tywin.
I think Tywin always wants to see flaws in Tyrion.
Yeah, but this isn't even, like, he doesn't. And he's never, anytime he's messed up, it's never been from telling someone too much. It's been like, oh fuck, didn't see that coming. But like, not like major stuff. Like, you know?
Yeah. I guess. Okay.
Like,
I can't, like...
he's not like Ned, where he mistrusts in the wrong people, you know?
Right.
Or overshares, or like...
Yeah.
That's never been a thing.
Well, maybe Tywin is like, oh, since you like to frequent sex workers, maybe you'll tell them about it, just to boast about it, or like, I don't know.
I guess.
I do think that if Tyrion had known, he would have kept it under wraps, but...
Yeah, Tywin is just... annoying. So,
but I also see Tywin's point of like only who needed to know knew.
Yeah. No, I see his point. I just don't like his argument.
Yeah, totally point. Totally fair. Totally point.
Totally point.
That's fine.
Please.
So
totally
now they turn their attention to Oberyn Martell, and they're Tywin. There's so many ties. Tywin is like, his brother would have been cool. He's like a reasoned, subtle, deliberate man, even indolent, which was a new word for me, but it just means somebody who's like resistant to taking action, which is me once I sit on the couch. Once I get home from work and I'm sitting on the couch.
Please. Oh my god.
But Oberyn has always been half mad, he says. And apparently, he tried to raise Dorne for Viserys. Remember that guy? And like nobody talks about it anymore. But shit, like they were working it out until Jon Arryn went down to Sunspear and like talked it out and ended this whole thing. But Robert never went to Dorne, and Oberyn never left it afterwards because they still didn't get along. And he's here now, and he wants revenge. And Tywin's like, yeah, well, we'll give it to him. He doesn't have proof that it was Gregor Clegane, and I don't want to lose that guy because he's valuable to me. So I'm going to tell him that Amory Lorch killed Elia and her children. And since he's dead already, we can be like, oh, look, revenge received, or whatever.
What the fuck? Revenge served.
Yeah. And apparently, Vargo Hoat had Sir Amory torn apart by a bear after the fall of Harrenhal. Now, somebody pointed out that, remember when Jaime jumps into the bear pit and he, like, grabs onto a random skull?
Mm-hmm.
That it might have been this guy's skull?
Oh my god.
Yes, a little throw forward, something.
Huh.
Yeah. And we get some unnecessary details about the deaths of Elia and her kids. And it's horrible. And Tyrion's like, okay, but then maybe it'll work. He won't be happy. But what will you tell him when he asks who gave Lorch his orders? And Tywin's like, yeah, well, Lorch just did it on his own because he wanted to be on Robert's good side. And Tyrion's like, okay, I guess.
Oh my god.
But Oberyn is not going to be happy about any of this. And, oh yeah, and Tyrion asks, like, why did you have to do it at all? Like, why did you have to give the order at all? Why not just let Robert take care of it? And this was interesting. So, first, the obvious thing is, like, we needed to prove our loyalty to Robert, and killing those Targaryens was the best way to do it. Mm-hmm. And also, as stupid as he was, even he knew that Rhaegar's children had to die if his throne was ever to be secure. Yet, he saw himself as a hero, and heroes do not kill children.
However, rebuttal, he was all for killing Dany and Viserys.
Oh, yeah, but it's not him. Yeah, it's... Yeah, but, like, this whole thing of, like, he saw himself as a hero, but yet he was totally cool with it happening. He just didn't want to be the guy to say to do it.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
it really reminded me how much I dislike Robert.
Like, man who gives the sentence
shall pass the sword. Swings the sword. Yeah.
Like, come on. Even if you can't physically swing the sword, at least own up to
You're the one responsible for it. Yeah.
Exactly. At the very least. Even if you're not literally swinging the sword, you have to at least take the responsibility of the sword. Like, it is your sword.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, homie. Anyway.
Yeah,
Why wasn't Ned the king again?
Because he didn't want this shit.
No, like,
he just wanted
that.
to be in the north and, like, do his own thing.
Yeah, but once again, he wouldn't have been good at it either. Okay, who would be a good king? Side note.
Tywin, honestly.
Shut it!
No, we don't want him to be king, but he would be a good king. You can't argue with that.
But he's evil!
He is evil.
I don't want
an
evil person to be king. Why can't he be
Oh,
him
we don't
but
want
not
him to be
evil?
king, but he would be, like, an effective king.
But effective doesn't mean good. Just because he'd be good at his job.
But he's smart
doesn't mean
enough
he'd be
to be
good.
like, okay, I'm gonna pardon my enemies if they yield. Whereas, like, somebody like Joffrey is like, no, I don't care if they yield. I'm just gonna kill them anyway.
Maybe you're right. I don't like
This is the reason why monarchies are not an effective, like, governing system. Because one guy has all the power. But, like, if it has to be that, like, of all the, like, eligible people, because Rob's dead now, Yeah. It's Tywin straight up.
So Rob should have been king, is what we're saying.
Yeah, well...
I hate this series! Rob would have been such a good king.
I mean, he was a king.
He didn't barely.
Wait, he made mistakes. But he was like the kind of like fairy tale king that we want kings to be,
I want a fairy tale king. Whatever.
Anyway,
Okay.
down with the monarchy. Moving on.
Man.
Yeah, so Tywin's like, yeah, besides, I didn't want him to kill Elia. That was, like, she didn't matter on her own because she was in the Targaryen. And Tyrion's like, oh, then why did the mountain kill her? And Tywin's just like, yeah, well, because I forgot to tell him not to. That was my bad.
That was so fucked up.
She's ugh.
Oh my gosh.
And he also says that I did not yet grasp what I had in Gregor Clegane, only that he was huge and terrible in battle, but, like, he didn't quite know just how terrible of a person he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're talking about whatever, and so how was Tyrion's like, how did this happen? How are they all dead? And Tywin, oh my god, I keep having to be like Tyrion, Tywin, like select the correct name every time. Tywin is like, oh yeah, well, I think an arrow killed Robb. It was at the wedding. And looks like Catelyn was killed as well, although the plan was to keep her captive. So that's interesting. What were they planning to do with her as captive? I mean, she's still, maybe they could have.
She's pretty valuable.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so was it just like she killed Jingle Bell and shit
also
went down?
she was also going a little mad, like clawing her own
at the
face
end,
and
she
just
was like, yeah.
I
guess, yeah.
So yeah, and Tyrion's like, oh, so much for guest right. And Tywin has the gall to be like, the blood is on Walder Frey's hand, not mine. This is giving Stannis. I woke up and my hands were clean. They were clean, I tell you.
True.
And Tyrion's like, yeah, well, I'm sure he came up with the plan, but he wouldn't have ever done such a thing without a promise of protection. And oh god, this, okay. So he's like, yeah, well, I did what I needed to do. Besides, explain to me, why is it more noble to kill 10,000 men in battle than a dozen at dinner? Which is a real reframing of what happened, like a rebranding, because all of Robb's army was killed in tents that were lit on fire. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And in a battle, everybody agrees that they might die. Yeah. You know? When you're sitting down to dinner, you don't agree to die. It's definitely not the same thing. I just don't like... So that makes me wonder, if we hadn't been in Arya's head for those, like, final moments, we might never, like, have really gotten what happened outside the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because everyone else, like, I think we talked about it before, she's the only one where it's like the people point of view, because that's where she is the whole time.
Yeah, anyway, so Tywin is trying to spin it in this whole,
but I think it's also, yes, he's trying to spin it in this noble way, but I think to him it's also just, like, the important people who died is, like, only the people at the dinner table. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like he is like, oh yeah, all of his army died. Okay, you know? Like, everyone in the tents. It's almost like, I feel like he almost just doesn't even value that. And that's also part of it.
Yeah, but it's the real, like, ignoring the facts situation.
No,
it's fake news.
I'm not saying it's, like, valid. I'm just saying I think that's where he's coming from, because he's also fucking rich as shit. So he's not going to value their lives.
But why does he count the 10,000 men in battle, but not the 10,000 men at dinner?
I don't know.
You know? Okay. It's just real choosy, and I don't like it. So, this is where we get, like, a little bit of what the, like, deal was. So, Emmon Frey, who I think is the heir, like, the main heir guy, is going to get River Run. So I guess he's going to be the lord of like the Riverlands, and then, or is Frey going to be the lord of the? I don't think I was clear on that. I don't think they made it clear. Anyway, so Lancel and Devon are going to marry a couple of Frey girls, and Joy, whose name I heard for the first time, I feel like, in the
I'm like, who
series,
the
and then
fuck is
looked up
Joy?
in the appendix. Joy is Tywin's niece, but bastard born niece. Her dad like disappeared on a voyage at one point. And she's like a little girl, like 10 or 11 or something.
So, Tywin's true brother's bastard girly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's his niece, like
Yeah.
you don't have like like your niece is your niece.
Yeah.
But she's like Joy Hill because she's a bastard.
Okay.
Anyway, so she's gonna marry one of Frey's bastards when she's old enough, and Roose Bolton is gonna become a Warden of the North and take home Arya Stark. She lives.
The fuck?
We heard about this like from Bolton as well, right? Do you remember that? And you were like, what?
What did he say?
Because when he and Jaime were having that dinner and Brienne, he was like, oh, Arya Stark has been found and she's being taken north.
Take her to...
Yeah. And we were like, as far as I remember, she's still with the Brotherhood Without Banners, like...
Mm-hmm.
And now we know for a fact it's not her, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So... Yeah, and so Tyrion is like, she's surely dead. Mm-hmm. And Tywin's response is, so was Renly until the Blackwater.
I have a theory.
Okay.
I have no, like... I don't know where this theory came from, but it kind of, like, just happened in my head.
Okay.
I think it's just broken pieces.
Give it to me.
Okay, but I'm insecure about it because it also kind of doesn't make sense.
No, I just don't want to hear it. Maybe we can make it make sense together.
Okay, so, because it's... So then the next sentence... Okay, so it's, so was Renly until the Blackwater. What does that mean? Perhaps Littlefinger succeeded where you and Varys failed. Okay, so specifically the Littlefinger. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He had something to do with this.
Exactly. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot of thoughts on this page, so I'm just trying to figure out which ones are right. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so Littlefinger... First I was like, maybe Littlefinger's involved. Okay, this is the I don't believe this, but somehow could be possible. So Littlefinger in the Vale. Vale close to Riverrun. Riverrun equals Brotherhood is there. That's where Arya was for the longest time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, maybe it's just rumors and he's like, I can get her, whatever, you know? And then he's just promising things that he doesn't have yet. But I don't think that's what it is. So that was like a thought that I had. And then I was like, nah, no way. And then what I think it is that, okay, so Littlefinger, so you know how Arya, no one really like, they're like, who are you little boy? And she's like, I'm Arya, you know? Yeah. And even when she, like, left the castle and, like, heard that conversation with Illyrio and Varys and then made her way back, they were like, you're not fucking Arya Stark. Like, no way, right? Yeah. So no one really is, like, has a grasp on Arya. So they could take anyone and, like, make her Arya. But specifically, I think Littlefinger being in the Vale, you know who I'm thinking they used? Who? Maya Stone.
But Maya Stone was like 15 or 16 the last time we saw her.
Wasn't she 10?
No.
I don't like this. My whole theory's falling apart. Now I don't have anyone to substitute. Okay, well, either way,
I want to tell you so bad, but I won't.
I think Littlefinger just took someone and then did it, because that's such a Littlefinger move. Yeah. But I don't know who it is.
You're on the right track, maybe.
Okay, wait, can I just think who else it could be?
Sure.
What other 10-year-old fucking girls do we know? Because wait, she's supposed to marry a Frey.
No, she is supposed to marry Ramsay.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. Yeah, okay, also that? Fuck. Okay. Who the fuck do we know? Who's in the thingy and is a little girl? Like...
I don't think you're gonna figure it out. It's okay.
Is it someone that I know, though?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'll think on it. I will think on this. Okay.
All right, but this is like a hard one.
Really? Okay.
Like, I don't blame you at all. But anyway, so they're gonna take somebody who they're gonna say is Arya Stark, and marry her.
Ain't nobody knowing who Arya is.
Yeah,
and ain't nobody alive to identify Arya other than like Sansa.
So true, but so sad. Yeah, so they're gonna marry her to Ramsay Snow, and that's gonna help them kind of like establish their control in the north. And they're gonna let him fight Bolton. They're gonna let him fight the Ironborn and see if they can, figure it out up there. And then once Sansa has a kid by Tyrion, that kid will be the heir, and then the Lannisters will have it all,
Mm-hmm.
Although, did Bolton agree to that second part?
I don't think so, but everyone's just plotting against everyone, A deal in this world is never a deal.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's like, get on that. Get me a grandchild. And Tyrion's like, oh yeah, I'll get right on it. When do you think Sansa will want to do that? Before or after I tell her how he murdered her mother and her brother?
Valid. Fair.
Which, oh my god, I don't know.
This was every time Tyrion had a thought like this, I was like, oh, don't cry.
I almost wanted them to just like rip off the band-aid and tell Sansa in this chapter, because now we have to wait until who knows when to get that, because like, she still doesn't know.
Man, it's too much. But also, the only thing that I do like is there's sort of,
because even her escape is like only like a thing she's wanting, because she's like, oh, I'll get to go to my mom and my brother now.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so technically Jon's the heir, and we have the River Lords who know that.
No, not
but
the River Lords. There's some Northern Lords who know that, like the Mormont lady and maybe one of the Glovers and whoever.
And the people, okay, so the Mormont lady who went to go get Holland Reed.
Yeah, all the people
plan?
who are remaining, I can't tell if, because we don't still have like a final head count at the Red Wedding. There were people at the Red Wedding who knew. We don't know if all of them are dead or not. So there could be somebody who's captured, who knows. And then there's the other people that remaining that know are the ones that went to Greywater Watch to find.
Yeah, so they still don't, obviously they didn't know the Red Wedding happened. So they're still like doing their part of the plan. So they're gonna come down, but it's like, how's that gonna work? Is that gonna work at all? Or are they all just gonna die? I feel like
this is the kind of news that would spread fast.
Like, are they gonna realize and then like be able to like, I don't know. But then it's like, still, what do they do now? Now it's this gigantic. Well,
the plan was just to like bring Robb guides through the marshes.
Yeah.
So they bring the guides. Robb never shows up. They eventually figure it out.
Oh, I hate it here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want like a heroic moment from them. You know what I mean? Maybe they do something. I don't know. Maybe they put up a fight,
Yeah. Okay. Are there any predictions in this one? I guess like the Arya Stark thing we kind of talked about. Sansa, how's she gonna react? Is she still like gonna continue to want to escape, because even though now she doesn't know where she will go?
I don't think so.
So she's just gonna resign to being here forever?
She might also, I don't know, because she might just be like, okay, like, because it's almost like there's no one that she has to worry about anymore in like a terrible way.
Right.
So it's almost like, why not just try to escape?
Yeah, just for herself.
Guy? Yeah, because it's not like they can be like, now we're gonna kill your mother too. You know what I mean? It's like there's no.
You already did, so no need to worry about that.
Yeah, so I think she will try, especially with, like.
And then where will she go if she escapes?
I don't know, wherever that other guy. What's his face?
Dantos.
Because Dantos
so wherever
was like,
he takes her.
Because he was like, oh yeah, we have a plan to get you this way, whatever. But I don't think it'll be successful.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they'll get caught.
Alright, so her, like, escape goal is just to get out of King's Landing, not specifically to go to a spot.
I don't think so, because where is she? Like, there's
I know.
no one.
I was just asking.
Yeah, but there's
maybe she'll go to Dorne. I don't know.
I don't think so. No one's
She'll be like, I want revenge too.
I don't think so, though, because that's not. I don't know. That's not really Sansa specifically, you know?
Yeah. What's Tywin gonna. How's he gonna deal with this Joffrey situation?
Okay, I'm excited for whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, but like, give me your thoughts.
Okay, so definitely. Because the thing is, okay. Yes, he wants to teach Joffrey a lesson, so he never talks back to him ever again. And so he actually, like, starts using a brain while, doing all his kingly, your grace shit. But he also doesn't want to, like, he is his heir. Like, not his heir, but he is the heir of like, he is the king.
He is the king.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I don't know why I kept saying heir. Like, he is the king. So at the same time, like, you can't just be, like, torture the dude, So it's, like, I feel like he almost has to do something, not sneakily, but in a way where it's, like, yes, subtly, where it's, like, yes, this is Tywin, but he could easily be like, I think that just happened to you, But it's like, I don't know what he can do that teaches him a lesson without just like you know what I mean? Maybe it's like he like, but anything that he does, like, how does he, because the thing is, he has to give that, like, he has to give some sort of risk environment without introducing real risk. Like, he could release him to the masses of King's Landing and let him freak out and experience that and be like, oh, do I really want them mad at me, or do I want to, like, do my rulings in a way that make people okay? But at the same time, it's like, that's too big of a risk. You can't just throw the king in there. So how do you simulate that? So I don't know. I'm confused. I don't really know. But I think he's just
if you throw the king in there and he accidentally dies of a hunting accident, then you have Tommen, who is like a sweet little baby, and then you can just like have him be king and still rule.
Yeah, I'm okay with it, but I think Tywin's
not okay with it.
Tywin wants his backup,
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
so I
think that's everything.
He'll do something that kind of generates a fake, dangerous situation.
Cool. Davos. So, they are talking about the Red Wedding, and this is the first time that we hear, like, in-world it being referred to as the Red Wedding, because all the small folk are calling it that. And, we get some details that there's rumors going around that apparently Frey had Rob's head hacked off and then sewed the head of his direwolf in its place, which would mean that Grey Wind is also dead.
I refuse to believe this.
And then nailed a crown about his ears, and that Catelyn was killed and thrown naked in the river. That part kind of confirms another one of the Ghost of Iheart's theories, which was the fish woman floating down a river.
Oh my god. I hate
and she said something about red tears, and that makes sense because she like scratched her face. And well, as far as like Rob having the literal head of a direwolf, that is how like Dany saw that vision. I think there was like Theon had a dream where that was a thing. So
wait, he had a what? Dream where what was the thing?
That Rob had the head of a direwolf.
I refuse to believe this.
Okay.
I'm denying this. No,
all right.
I don't care. It was a false vision.
Okay, so all of that, they're like, whatever, praise the Lord for doing this, blah, blah, blah. We gotta get the news out to people that now is the chance to follow me because I will pardon whoever swears fealty, even though, like, Stannis, like, hates saying the word pardon.
Yeah, he's like, I will pardon.
Yeah,
Oh
and Melisandre is like, that's not gonna work because more false kings will rise soon to take up the crowns of those who have died. And Stannis is like, more usurpers, more traitors. I've had it. I don't want to do this.
I hate it here.
And yeah, and Melisandre's like, see, like, R'hllor doesn't tell a lie. Like, sometimes I misread his signs, but, like, that's on me. It's the fault is in the reader, not the book. But,
Please.
like, R'hllor did this. It's a sign. And we should kill that kid so that I can, like, rise, what is it? Like awaken stone dragons or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And oh god. And they're like, they get on their knees and they're like, do this and you will be like king forever. Please. And his wife Selyse is there and she's like, that kid is cursed. He is the foul fruit of their fornications. Lift the shadow from my womb and I will bear you many trueborn sons. I know it.
Homie. Please.
Yeah, and we get a little like, okay, so this kid was like conceived on Stannis' wedding night in his wedding bed, and apparently Robert apologized to him later and was like, I was just so drunk I didn't realize which room I was entering. Oh my god. But Stannis is like, but the kid's innocent. Like, I can't do that. No matter what his parents did, it's not his fault. Mm-hmm. And Melisandre's like, yeah, well, the Lord of Light loves the innocent. They taste so good.
The fuck?
There is no sacrifice more precious. From his king's blood and his untainted fire, a dragon shall be born.
Please stop. Get some help, please.
And Stannis is considering this, and he's like, I remember the first time my father took me to court, and Robert had to hold my hand because I was only 4 years old, and he was like 5 or 6. And then afterwards, we agreed that the king had been as noble as that the dragons were fearsome, because he's like, a dragon would be cool. Mm-hmm. And then he explains that years later, their father told them that Aerys had cut himself on the throne that morning, which, if you remember, I had said has been kind of used as you're unworthy of this throne mechanism. So he had cut himself and couldn't be present, so his hand had taken his place. It was Tywin Lannister who had impressed us. Which, like, he gives off the kingly vibe, as we previously discussed at length.
Oh my god.
And he's like, yeah, it would be cool to have one of those dragons. And Davos has to be like, hey, dude, can I say a thing? Do you really want to be a kinslayer? No man is as cursed as a kinslayer in the eyes of gods and men. And he's like trying to say, like, he's like, and Edric Storm is just a little boy, and Edric Storm, and Edric, he's just like, he's determined to say the boy's name as often as he could. Mm-hmm. And Melisandre's like, yeah, but only death can pay for life, dude. A great gift requires a great sacrifice, which is like kind of throwback to when Dany was told the same thing by Miriam Azdur.
Mm-hmm. And it was, oh my god, there was another line that she was told exactly. One sec. Okay, I've lost it. But yeah, that's what it was.
Okay. And then he's like, okay, maybe that's true, but even an onion smuggler knows 2 onions from 3. You are a king short, my lady.
Please. Beautiful.
And Melisandre's like, okay, so if Joffrey dies, does that mean you'll believe me? Mm-hmm. And, even Stannis is like, we'll see. Mm-hmm. And he's like, and they're still trying to be like, just do it, just go for it. And he's like, nope. You know what? 2 is not 3. Kings can count as well as smugglers. Get the fuck out of my face.
Oh my god.
Because he doesn't want to do this. It's obvious. I will give him that. But so everybody like leaves except Davos. And he's trying to do the, like, Edric Storm's your, like, daughter's BFF. Like, if anything should happen to him, she'd be so sad. And he, like, loves you, and he loves, like, he always asks about you. And yeah, that's why he's trying to do this whole thing. But Stannis is getting real angry because, he doesn't want to hear it. And he finally is like, he's one boy. He may be the best boy who ever drew breath, and it would not matter. My duty is to the realm. We do not choose our destinies, yet we must do our duty. Great or small, we must do our duty. And what is the life of one bastard against a kingdom? Which is a real utilitarian take, Stannis, but like, also, when he says, what is the life of one bastard against a kingdom? Everything, said Davos softly, which it is. Like, you choosing to do this cements you as a villain. Because you're no better than the Lannisters who kill innocents. And, I mean, not to say that, like, Stannis is some hero or whatever, but, yeah, even if, I don't know. I don't think I could ever be utilitarian,
I don't know. I think...
Like, to
like
actively sacrifice one person's life just so you can prevent other people from... That's, like, still... That's a lot.
I think I would.
I don't know.
I think I would.
I don't think I could.
But in this case, I don't agree with... I think if that's what it was, I think I would hate it, but I would.
Is it because you don't believe that the stone dragons will come to life?
It's not that I don't believe that the stone dragons would come to life. I think for me, it's just, the stone dragons might come to life, but to me, the stone dragons coming to life is not the equivalent of Stannis is gonna save the world. You know what I mean? So yes, I know that Stannis wholeheartedly believes that, like, this is my duty and that's why I'm doing it, but I don't think it's his duty, so I think it's just he's killing Edric Storm so he can raise the dragons.
Right, because he wants a dragon, not because he wants to serve the realm.
I think he does.
He's doing it not for the right reasons.
I think he is doing it for the right reasons.
Then, okay, what are you saying?
I'm just saying that I don't think it's going to be effective, so I think it'll be a waste of Edric's life.
So you don't think it'll raise stone dragons? You keep circling.
I'm being clear. You're not listening to me. Okay. I'm gonna say everything, okay?
Yeah, please do.
So, I think that Stannis thinks, okay, raise stone dragons, I'm the light bringer, and I'm gonna save the world. What I think is Edric will die. Maybe there will be a stone dragon, maybe there won't. I'm leaning towards there will. So there is a stone dragon, but I don't think that Stannis having a stone dragon is equivalent to saving the world against, like, what's the evil one? There's R'hllor and there's the other, right? I don't think that Stannis, because, we've talked about this, neither of us think that Stannis is Azor Ahai reborn. So I think that even though Stannis believes this is his holy mission and that's what's gonna happen, I don't think Stannis is gonna save the world with a fucking stone dragon.
So you don't like it because ultimately there may be a dragon, but it won't be the dragon we need.
Yeah, and it's not gonna... I don't think this is gonna save the world, so I think at the end of the day it's just a waste of Edric's life. But right. I think if it was effective, like, yes,
if
it sucks,
if we did think that Stannis was Azor Ahai, yeah.
I think I'd be like, okay, well, if we're saving the world, we're saving the world.
I don't think there will be a stone dragon, because I think this may be, like, Melisandre may see this in her flames. This may be one of her misreading the flame situation.
Of Dany and all that.
Yeah, because like the stone dragons, that's clearly Dany's stone dragons coming to life. The stone, like eggs turn stone.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's like another dragon just hanging out waiting to be turned from stone. I think that like that ship has sailed. That already exists out there.
Yeah.
So
that definitely makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But...
So like I don't think it would work no matter what they did. And even Stannis, like he talks about like his magic sword, and he's like, it's glimmers prettily, but it didn't do me any better. Like, it served me no better than any other common steel.
Yeah.
And he says he had a dream of a king, a crown of fire on his brow, burning. His own crown consumed his flesh and turned him to ash, which is interesting. Is that just the heavy is the head that wears the crown situation, or?
I think...
The only other crown of fire I could think was Viserys.
I was gonna say, I don't know which one this is referring to, but I think it's Viserys, but it's also just like the weight of the crown, and it's almost like, I think it's also a reference of like, let's say, you know, like Stannis, you know, is like whatever, this whole Stannis thing pans out. It's like, I think that, I don't know, I believe that, you know, the way he wants to rule is a bit flawed. So it's almost like that's also that extra weight where it's like shit is falling apart because he's not doing it well.
Right.
So it's like I think it's kind of everything. It's like Viserys, and then it's like, you know, it's a lot of weight for one person, and you can tell, like, you know, obviously he's weakening because of whatever the magic shit is going on, but I think he's also just weakening because it's like he went, it's, you know, it's a lot to have, it's a lot of pressure like, to be like, I'm gonna save the fucking world and everything's on me, you know? Like, I kind of feel bad for Stannis in that way, so it's like...
Oh yeah, being in office is real stressful, and like, all the like, people who are like president or whatever, they always like age so rapidly during their terms.
Exactly, because it's like...
If they actually do anything, but aren't dead, you're dead anyway, but anyway. That's besides the point. So yeah, so the point is, Stannis is like, if Joffrey dies, I think this kid's gonna have to die. Like, he's kind of like believing that. So do you think Joffrey will die?
I would love to say yes, but I just think that's too good to be true. So I don't think Joffrey's gonna die. The way I just said Joffrey,
safe either way, or maybe they'll get so desperate that they'll do it anyway.
I think so.
Yeah,
because I think there's moments in this conversation where it's like, you know, you can tell Melisandre has everyone else prepped, and scripted and everything. So I think there's moments where they're talking and Davos hasn't said anything yet, and you can see Stannis like not change his mind but kind of consider it more, and then Davos comes in and his original beliefs kind of get reaffirmed. So I feel like there will just be a case of Davos wasn't there, or Davos was shushed, or you know what I mean, that sort of thing,
and they'll finally convince him.
Yeah. You know what? Oh, I have a crackpot theory. I have to think about it. Okay. You know how his son later on is very much R'hllor. Imagine his son is the one who... Imagine Melisandre uses his son to convince Stannis. Wouldn't that be such a blow for Davos?
It would suck.
Okay, I'm predicting that.
But why would Stannis listen to this 12-year-old?
I don't know. I just think that's really spicy family drama.
Okay. All right. So spicy family drama. That's the show. That's the name of the other show based in this universe. House of the Dragon. That's the spicy family drama.
Please. Yeah. I mean,
that literally could be its name, and it would be very accurate.
I mean, you're right, because they all just marry their family anyway, so everything really stays within the family.
Oh, yeah. The next season is coming out, I think, next year. I'm looking forward to that, actually. Okay. Please. Since we never talk for no reason whatsoever, back to this chapter. So Davos is dismissed before he talks himself back into a dungeon. And he goes across the yard. He's going to go visit the maester. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to visit the maester, and he's like making note of the architecture, and there's all these like gargoyles and whatever. And everything is shaped like a dragon. Like the Great Hall is a dragon lying on its belly, and people enter through its mouth.
That's
and
so
then,
cool.
Like the kitchens are a dragon curled up, and the smoke and the steam of the ovens are vented through its nostrils. And then like all the walls and everything are like dragon tails and shit. And it's just like really cool imagery.
Yeah, literally.
Just like imagine like you're walking into a great hall and it's just like a dragon's mouth. How cool would that be?
That's like, wow.
Yeah, and he's wondering like what if these were real dragons and they were somehow turned to stone, and then maybe Melisandre will bring them back to life, and then we'll have dragons that have like chimneys and windows and rooms of furniture inside them.
Oh my god, stop. Please.
He's literally kind of going off on this little daydream. And Salador San comes up behind him and is like, hey dude, you stopped Stannis from attacking that one place, and now I don't have any money. And I heard that dude has so much good stuff, like wine and an eagle that he had trained to fly, and a magic horn to summon krakens from the deep, and I don't have any of that now.
Oh my god.
But I hear that you have been making friends of your own. And Davos is like, don't talk so loud.
Oh my god.
So there's the Queen's men who do not like Davos. So he's gathering his own King's men, which are the people who don't really believe so much in R'hllor and are kind of reverting back to the old gods, or the seven.
Mm-hmm.
And he like names a few of them, and I don't know if we really need to go into it, but basically he's being really careful about who he chooses to be on his side, but he's gathering supporters, which I think
love that.
is smart. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that we're past our days of just charging at Melisandre with something. Like, I'm glad that we've moved on from whatever that was. That was a phase.
Growth. It's character growth. Yeah, and they're just talking, and
he's like, great, but I wish they really couldn't say anything, because you still shouldn't trust anyone.
Yeah. A crew that knows
do your well.
I need a crew that knows how to hold their tongues. And Salador San's like, yeah, a crew with no tongues was even better, which is a throwback kind of to Euron Greyjoy, who has a crew of mutes.
Oh my god.
If you remember.
I don't remember that. Wow.
Yeah, we heard about him pulling into the Iron Islands the day after Balon Greyjoy died in his ship, the Silence, with his crew.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, anyway.
Homie can stick to a theme, I'll give him that.
Yeah. So, yeah, Davos is like, they're discussing, will Stannis kill this kid? And Davos is like, he's not gonna do that, he's not gonna harm his own blood. And Salador sounds like, oh, Renly will be so glad to hear this.
Please.
Yeah, but then Davos is like, yeah, but he, was a traitor in arms. He deserved it. This is just a kid. He's not gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Salador San is like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go out to the sea and raid some ships and make sure they pay their taxes and whatnot.
Oh my god.
And don't forget, the higher a man climbs, the farther he has to fall, which is, yeah, all that. So Davos is reflecting on that, and he finally goes to the Maester's tower.
Mm-hmm.
And he recalls talking to the Maester about not being worthy of being the hand, because he can't even read and write. But Maester Pilus was like, I can teach you to read and write. That's not magic. That's just reading. So now he's been taking reading lessons every night, which I love for him.
Yay.
And it's like tough going. Like anything is hard to learn when you're older, but like reading is like, I can imagine that being hard. So he goes to the thing and he runs into Patchface, if you remember, who has made a couple prophecies.
I hate it.
His wise saying today is, under the sea, the old fish eat the young fish. I know. Oh.
You really do know, bro.
I don't know what that prophecy... I don't know if that's a prophecy or if that's just whatever, but I highlighted it in case it becomes something. Yeah. So he goes into the Maester's room and all the kids are there. Princess Shireen. What's the kid's name?
Edric Storm.
Edric Storm, even though he said it like a million times this chapter, I totally forgot it.
Please.
And his own kid, Devin, is there. And they're all learning about Daeron Targaryen, who conquered Dorne and all of that. And they have this cute little interaction, and finally they're on their way, and they settle down to like begin the lesson. And Davos likes to read the letters that the king gets because that's like him being useful as hand, as opposed to just reading some like stories or whatever he thinks. And there's no new letters, but the Maester gives him this old letter from the Night's Watch. And what does it say? It's basically like, to the 5 kings, which is like, why would you address it? Just address it like to His Grace Stannis. Like, you know who you're sending this to. Like, you know?
My lovely, lovely, true King Stannis.
Yeah. And I imagine it was Maester no, not Lewin. Maester Aemon. Oh god, there's so many Maesters. But yes, Maester Aemon, the OG who wrote this. But anyway, so it's addressed to the 5 kings, just like, hey, please help us. There's wildlings coming down from the haunted forest, and we're under attack, and Mormont's dead, and we need help. And Davos is like, why did anybody bring this to Stannis or Melisandre? Because this seems important. And the Maester brought it to Sir Alistair, who was the last hand who got killed, if you remember. But he didn't think it was important because, like, he was like, we have our own battles to fight. We don't have anybody to spare for this. So Davos is like, okay, I guess we'll just hold on to this, because he doesn't say I'm going to go take this to Stannis.
Yeah.
But also, maybe he's like, yeah, that guy was right. There's nothing we can do here.
I think it's also just like, it just confirms more of Melisandre's shit. And it's just like, he like...
Oh yeah, that's right. Because she had seen that battle in the snow, and he doesn't want to like feed into that. That's right.
Because then it further is like, oh, she's right. Should we believe her on this other thing, Edric thing too? Yeah, that's right. And at one point, he's like reading this, and he's like, yeah, I'm hand of the king, and Stannis might be the king of Westeros in name, but in truth, he was the king of the painted table, which I was like, ooh, burn. Ouch. Don't let Stannis read this book.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And he's thinking about the whole tale of Azor Ahai, and he's like, okay, well, Azor Ahai had to sacrifice his wife. Does that mean Edric Storm is going to play the part of Nisa in this? Who knows? And he's like, this shit is too depressing. Give me a different leather.
Valid. So valid.
And then that's the end of the chapter. Okay, so we kind of talked about predictions. I think we talked about literally all the predictions that could come out of this chapter.
I think we did.
So I guess that's it then.
Oh my god, this is like the shortest we've done in like several recordings.
So, do you want to talk about next chapters?
Yeah.
How many?
You never make me guess that.
Oh, we're reading 2. Sorry.
Okay.
Which ones? I forgot. It's been a while. Like 1 week, but still.
2. Catelyn and Arya.
I almost like looked at my thing to check if you were right, because I didn't even like hear what you like. I didn't process what you said.
Please, you know, Rob and Ned. Okay.
You think you're so clever.
I am. I need this. Okay. Oops, that was really loud. Sorry, people. Okay, let's do like Dany and Sansa.
Wrong on both accounts.
Yay.
We're reading chapters 55 and 56. Chapter 55 is Jon, who had just made it back to the wall.
Ooh, my homie Jon. Okay. Maybe we'll, get some more defenses up in place, get those people coming in to help from the other towers.
Okay.
Even though
cool.
They're doing the wrong thing by keeping them on the outskirts.
Yeah, I actually need to look over this chapter to remind myself what happens. But chapter 56 is Bran.
Ooh, okay. So homie,
the last time we saw him, he had caught a glimpse of Jon.
Ooh, okay. So homie's making his way to the wall, hopefully not getting caught by free folk. Preferably.
So just getting to the wall, that's still what they're doing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Well, just that we have a special guest for those chapters.
We do.
And I guess everybody will just have to listen to find out.
Mm-hmm. How exciting.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, it is okay, I'm gonna be honest. I looked ahead at the chapters and I got caught up with the one of the story beats, and that's all I'm thinking about right now.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. Okay. Cool.
We'll find out about it during the next chapters. So we actually have an email to read.
Ooh.
as a thing, so let me find it as a thing. I don't know what I mean by that, but whatever. Who cares? Get out of my face.
As a segment.
So, this email is from Brian, and it is titled Red Wedding Thoughts.
Please, thank you.
Hello, Nav and Harmat. Harmat demanded thoughts, and I will oblige. Unfortunately, they will not be the ones she wants to hear. I experienced a red wedding first as a show watcher. At the time, as a late teenager, I was in the midst of my why do the heroes always win at the end? That's so unrealistic phase, an edgelord.
Oh my.
So my reaction at the time was vindication. Rob, ostensibly the good guy since book 1, was faced with the consequences of his mistakes, and plot armor could not protect him. I was shocked at the scale the whole Northern Rebellion storyline ended so definitively, but not for Rob. After all, this is the series about politics, sex, and everybody dies. We love it because it hurts so good. Rob was doomed the second he left Winterfell. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die, and like his father, Rob was ill-equipped to really play the game. But now, Harmat, you are in the club. Whenever somebody tells you that they just got into Game of Thrones, you're going to have to stop yourself from telling them what's ahead, because you know what's in store for them. They will be the sweet summer child, and you the seasoned veteran. I want to thank you for the Red Wedding episode. It truly surpassed all my expectations. I view art
Aw.
as something that can make you feel strong emotions, and that's why I love this series. Thank you guys. Sincerely, Brian. Thanks for your email, Brian. I'm glad the episode surpassed all your expectations.
No, that's so kind. However,
because
yeah, I
it's
get it.
like
After...
everybody has a lot of expectations, so to like surpass them is saying something.
Yeah, thank you. That is very kind. However, for the first part, here's my thoughts on your thoughts on our thoughts, okay? So, since the Red Wedding episode came out, which has really only been a week for you guys since it came out, so freaking Discord has been popping up with everyone's thoughts, and everyone's thoughts are like so analytical and like cool and like whatever, and meanwhile I was just like, wow, I'm crying so much I don't even want to think about the literary components.
Well, you gotta think about it though. Everybody else has had like years to sit with this.
Yeah.
So they can think analytically. You just feel the feels.
Yeah. So
and I think Ola, our friend who's like reading along, was also shooketh. So
no, but Ola also had like good thoughts, and I was like, "How dare you read this for the first time and have good thoughts?" And just and Ola was just like, I think the thing that struck me was like, Ola was like, "Wow, like what the fuck?" But also that was kind of beautiful, and I was like, "You can say that this quickly?" Like it took
you can get to the beautiful already.
Yeah, it took me all episode to be like, okay, whatever, it was written well, you know? Like I was like, what? So
yeah,
anyway,
but like people process things at different speeds. It's okay.
I don't know. Anyway, thank you for your email, Brian. That was very kind.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
And Harmat wants everybody else to send emails. Even though like everybody has been like the Discord has been popping off to a point where I cannot keep up with it. So I'm gonna try to be better about that. But folks, send us emails too, because like I think Harmat wants those.
Yeah, I want like cohesive like.
Yeah,
the Red Wedding destroyed me, and I just need to hear other people who it destroyed.
Tell us about how many times you cried.
Exactly.
And for how long, and at what octave.
Exactly. That's all I'm asking, is the exact details of your crying.
You know, I really want to go, because you edited that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, way to go. That's a lot.
Please.
But
okay, let me just, I'm gonna post-warn people after they listen to it. Okay, 2 things. First of all, okay, when I was recording my reaction, I wasn't thinking about audio quality, so Homie was shit. Like, Homie was so bad, and also, as I mentioned in the episode, it was
like genuine. It was real.
But it almost, the bad audio quality, I genuinely think added to it. Because it was like, there were parts where I would get more emotionally tense, and the rain in the background would get louder. And it was like, yes, you can like kind of barely hear me, but also it just kind of like, it felt really real because of it. So I was okay with it.
You were having your main character moment with the weather like backing your every emotion.
No, exactly. Like it was cray-cray. And also like freaking, so as I was doing that, because if I edited out the sounds, it was because the audio quality was so bad, if I edited out the sounds completely, it like made my voice sound like not my voice. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep my voice and keep some of the bad audio to like, you know, so the audio is bad is what I'm trying to say. And second thought at the beginning, and then second thought, because it was so emotionally charged, literally worst editing job of my life. I listened to everything like twice, and that was it. I was like, I'm only editing out the absolute necessities. Like, I pulled enough. I was like, I'm only editing the absolute necessities, and we're done. Because it's also like, wow, you guys made me go through Red Wedding. You don't deserve a perfectly edited episode. So, there you go. Anyway, I just needed to say that.
No, I think it's great. I've just been, like, scared to go back, because I know I'm gonna start crying when I hear you crying.
Oh my god, no, I was like, I really put that out into the universe. Like, that, wow. Like, that was a lot of emotional vulnerability. And I'm someone who's okay. Like if I cry in front of someone, I don't, like, get anxious about it for weeks. You know? Like, I'm okay with crying in front of people. But even for me, like, putting that on the internet...
Yeah.
Ooh,
well, like,
that
honestly...
That took a lot.
I totally get what Brian means by it surpassed all my expectations, because you, like... So the episode before... No, 2 episodes before, you were like, this is going to hell. This wedding is not going anywhere good. And then the episode right before, you were like, I'm going to be optimistic. They're going to reunite. And all those things.
It's because I was having a fucking good week, and then it extended to the podcast. I was like, maybe I can be happy.
And then you were just so utterly devastated.
Because I had gone off of this is going well. That's the thing is, like, the episodes leading up to it, I was totally on it. I was like, fucking Tywin is gonna attack. And I, like, just fucking knew. And then it just, like, I don't know what happened to me right before. It was like, I just was like, you know what? Maybe the world is a good place.
You
and
let
then
the
I tried
optimism
to be happy.
win.
I tried to be happy and it didn't work. Anyway.
Yeah, but no, that meant that there's this huge payoff, as, like, if you'd continued to be on the case, I don't think you would have been as, like, affected by it.
I think I would have been like, fuck this. But I think I still would have been like, I didn't think it was that bad, you know?
Right. But you were going into it thinking it was going to be good, and then it was horrible.
Yeah. I don't think I would have cried on air for several minutes if I had continued predicting bad. I think...
Well...
Because I think I was
keep
just
feeling
shocked.
your feels, because everybody loves it.
Wow, okay. People just love my pain.
Well, we all sympathize and also love it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Y'all are such good people. I can't.
Yeah, but we're past that now.
No,
so...
we're not.
No. Like the plot we're past, not we're over it. We're not. Nobody's over it. The reason people are listening to this podcast right now is because they are not over it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, because that episode aired like literal 10 years ago, like for the show, because it was definitely like the show was how a lot of people like experienced it. Mm-hmm. And they're definitely listening now. Like, I would say 80% of our audience is listening now because they saw the Red Wedding 10 years ago.
Please! Okay, when y'all email with your reactions, also confirm that. Because I'm like...
Yeah, are you listening to this podcast because you were like, Red Wedding, holy shit?
By the Red Wedding, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's also like... Freaking, like... It's just like... it feels like a cultural moment.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, that was, I think the episode itself was the first time, not first, like one of the first times where people like posted reaction videos of them watching the show like on YouTube and stuff.
Wow.
Like, it wasn't really a thing before this.
Wow. Like,
I'm sure it happened, but like it wasn't the thing it is now.
Right. Oh, wow. That's so interesting. Because it's like, it's, I don't even like, I don't know. Like, it's, I don't know. Like, how, because now I'm like, okay. Because now I'm like, yeah, like, I like reading Tyrion's chapters, and like, Tyrion's cool, but he ain't no Stark. Like, I don't feel that attachment to him that I feel
well, we
to
still
the
got
Starks.
Sansa and Jon and Bran.
And Rickon, or, well, we don't have Rickon.
Yeah, we don't have, like, his chapters, but yeah.
But it's just, like, I just feel, like, there's such a, I don't know, I just feel like with every Stark that leaves.
But imagine, like, how much room that leaves for more POVs. I don't know.
I'm
trying to, like, put
just
a positive spin on
add POVs. Make it complex. Because here's the thing, is, like, when Ned left, I feel like with every Stark that dies, because when Theon died, like, it wasn't a moment. I wasn't like, oh no, he's dead, you know? When any Stark dies, it's such a, like, I think it really truly takes out, like, a certain brand, like an entire thing from the series. Like, when Ned died, I feel like it was the first, because Ned kind of had that innocence about him, which is why he wasn't good at, you know, like, not in it. I think innocence is the word I'm looking for, where it was, no, like,
it totally is.
Like, he was very naive in that way, and it's like, that got lifted from the series as soon as him and Cersei had that conversation where everything shit went down. It's Jaime's, that happened. That was a moment. It's Jaime's. That was our moment. But like not a good one. But so that happened and then he died. Like I feel like a whole thing just got stripped from the series. And now like because of 3 of them dying at the same time, it feels like Arya's like people component and Catelyn's like overarching emotional but also like political, and then like Robb wasn't a POV, but Robb was just like you said, like homie was like a fairy tale dream, like that's like that like positivity element and like that like wow, there is a way to do it right, like that's gone, and I just feel like it's like we're only losing things, like we're not gaining anything. So it's just sad. Yeah. Anyway, I'm still mourning.
Well, on that note, send us an email, everyone. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. Join the Discord and join the discourse. And also follow us on Instagram @popculturesymposium to get updates about episodes and stuff like that, and to see some cool artwork. Until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.